Bring out all bums. Don't bring that weak shit in here.
4, 3, 2, kick it.
Yo, Chico, expose these clowns.
Attention! Bull crusher! It's time for the Freddy Chico show to begin. Open up your ears and listen closer. I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Feeling in strong, watching clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'm gonna give them this to my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Feeling in strong, watching clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'm gonna give them this to my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I speak for the truth of my people, I will never quit. No fear in my heart, they keep talking while I'm living this. Kneel for the spirit of the fallen, calling Japanese. Them soldiers always raising up our fifth street analysts. They lost in the zone of a fatal sin. True facts in the story only carry weight. Keep the grind on your mind each and every day. But don't copy off of mine, eat what's on your plate. Respect the Huey P. and Bobby Seale. Malcolm X and the King, cause the dream is real. What I said, and I mean it all. If you're looking for the real Freddy Chico show, I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Feeling in strong, watching clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'ma give them all based on my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Feeling in strong, watching clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'ma give them all based on my wordplay. Freddy Chico show.
I'm still not a fan of that big transition. Welcome to the Freddy Chico show. Let me go ahead and start this timer. Rip your city time. Here we go. And they messed up on Instagram. They actually showed me how to do the green screen. So my Instagram people can see something other than this green screen for the most part. Still working on it. It's not the best. Look better than it did before, but still got some work to do. Got some green around the head. You know, I was trying to figure that out. I appreciate everybody that was on time. I told you we were going to start on time and do that stereotype. You come in late crap. But got a heavy topic tonight. Might scare some people away. You know. Walter, what's going on? Do me a favor, hit that share button, invite some people. Oh, and I forgot to get it. Hold on. Look at this. For people that don't know. Let's go. Got it in. Alright, Sean, what's going on? Over there having an easy night, so he gonna be on here. I hope you're ready. I think I scared a lot of people away on this topic. That's cool. I'd rather you be scared and not show up than be in here and be scary. Or be a spy or a plant, you know. You showing up is half the battle. Trust and believe it doesn't go unnoticed. The true blue, you know, not the one timers or when it's when it's cool and convenient. You know what I mean? Y'all come in. But on my Instagram, I just found out they're actually incorporating green screen. So I just found out like seconds before I started, and so I'm not up on game yet. But hopefully that's something I can fine tune later on. You know, now getting ready to get started. Time is almost up. All right, we got the rep your city part done. What are we talking about today? We're talking about war on black people. There is a war on black people. Do you see it? And what are you going to do about it? I'm wearing my shirt tonight. Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ship because they knew death was better than slavery, than bondage. Didn't want to misquote it. But Tim Scott is definitely not that. Oh, you out towing? Gotcha. Shout out to FHO. Busy doing his thing, making his money. In the Chino Yard right now. That's somewhere in California. Never been in the state, but boys out there in Chino Yard. In the Chino Yard. I know Ishan is up the street over here in Decatur. Decatur, Riverdale, something like that. Latonia, something like that. Let me see if we got any YouTube people. Let's see if my boy Dornelius was going to be in here this time. Since I think he's still on Facebook jail. So they ain't going to let him come in this room. But do me a favor, Ishan and Walter, send them out. Invite some people. You know, invite some brave souls. Invite that CC girl to be talking crap to you on your live. See what's good. Always saying your eyes aren't open. Yeah, I did not know it was going to let me do this green screen for the Instagram. This is kind of cool. He said, before we get to the me, I need people to research the difference between Uncle Tom and Sambo. We're giving people the title of Uncle Tom, and it's totally wrong. Actually, no, it's not. No, it's not. People have not read the book. And they're going off of information. I have the book. I actually have the book in there. And is Uncle Tom better than Sambo? Yes. But I ain't no Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was still not this. So gotcha. No worries. But both Uncle Tom and Sambo were ridiculous. But I hate when people say, "Oh man, don't call people Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was actually a hero." Nah, no he wasn't. No he was not. He still was subservient to white people. He might have protected some slaves from this and that and other, but he was still a Tim Scott. We sick boss. You know what I'm saying? We lost the war a long time ago. I agree. There are too many controlled blacks. Tim Scott is one. But I forget who sent me this video of Malcolm X talking about both liberal and conservative white is really the same thing. And I know I've heard some people, and I kind of argued with them when they would make these points. The only thing that I guess I could say this time, or at this point, is if you don't believe white liberals are helping black cause, why don't you step up? Why don't you step up? Instead of expecting, like y'all said, you expecting a white man to come up here and save us or rescue us. We need to rescue ourselves. Then you do it. Become a senator. Become a congressman. Become one of the lawmakers. Or is it easier just to complain about it and do absolutely nothing? And I'm speaking to myself too. Because you mess around and see my name on a ballot, where y'all gonna be at? Still kissing white folks' behinds? Or will y'all back me? Just saying. You know I don't BS or sugarcoat or any of these other political things. And I have Trump to thank for that, because if he can be president, I can be president. I'm just saying. He was never a senator. He was never a congressman. And he was the president of the United States. Help me understand that. Supposed intelligent people voted for him. 70-something million people voted for that orange clown. Right, but even if that's the case, you said sit down and make a list of what liberal and conservative entities do that is detrimental towards the black man, and you'll see. No, but I mean, this is not new. Liberals have been doing it since the civil rights movement or whatnot. But what are we doing? Absolutely. But we got too many idiots doing all the talking, and not enough of us giving an alternative. You know, when we got something like Black Lives Matter, but it started by some lesbians, it undermines the movement. Because now people are focused on the fact of their lifestyle and not that they actually got up and did something. They're focused on the lifestyle and not the fact that they're actually speaking up for travesties against blacks. And I wouldn't doubt that some of those are plans to, you know, not let the movement get too big. Because it will take one of us to kill one of us to say it was one of us. Now, I wouldn't say I'm worried about integration because there's plenty of awesome white people. Plenty of awesome white people that have good hearts, you know. So I'm not for, oh, we need to stay over here and they stay over there. Because at the same time that people were saying, yeah, we were doing better than we're doing now, whites were still doing better, you know. Um, and so a lot of the argument that, oh, when we integrated, that's when things got worse. No, 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 no. Y'all weren't there when if whites got the 10th edition, we had the first edition of any book. It was beat up, and that was a problem with segregation. Yeah, they had so-called the Tulsa and somewhere else where it was all black and it was prosperous, and they were well-off blacks in the whole city, kind of thing. Or just a story we don't know. I wasn't born at that time, but it also allowed them to have a target. You know, we could take everybody out in this city and not worry about killing any white people because the whole town is black. And with all these different police killings and um, shout out to Jeff Horst. He always has some posts that I, support. And again, a white person that understands what's going on, not sugarcoating this stuff, not making excuses for it. He said there's a movement started by a young man called A Black Man Is Not My Opponent, which deals with conflict resolution. I respect his vision. Unless the masses get behind the push, I'm afraid it's going to fade by the summer. How can we help him push this forward? I hope you're not talking about that dude in Macon, or not Macon, but Albany. But yeah, I need some more information about dude. I definitely would be curious as to, people doing something. Like I said, a lot of people, so-called independents will sit there and say, hey, Democrats ain't done nothing for black people. But yet would never come out their mouth saying the Republicans ain't done nothing for black people either. Other than that fake stuff where like, oh, they did do something. They got some prison reform. They got nobody out of jail, but we'll call it prison reform. All those clergy talked all that crap about it. Where are all these people that are supposed to be getting out for this prison reform? Still waiting on that. But I was pessimistic. I was, not giving them a chance, right? Where are all these millions of people that Trump was going to let out for minor offenses? So look at how many black women support LGBTQAI or the black. Look how many Me Too only cares about the gender and ignores falsely accused black men. Look at all the races, Blue Lives Matter people. The list goes on. Have no argument for all that. Have no argument for any of those things you said. You're gonna have to, and I was thinking like how FHO was talking about earlier. It's like a lot of people on my friends list. Should I go ahead and start cleaning up when I know who you are? It's like, yeah, yeah. Said it was all talking points to lull people to sleep. Yeah, I'm not asleep, and it's getting. I think it's getting worse. I think it's getting worse. Um, You got Morons. Like, I mean, I've been told everybody about Tim Scott with the whole him not even getting the Orange Man to shake his hand because he wasn't worried of that, and he was okay with it. He was like, it's no problem. You don't have to shake my hand. You don't have to. It's okay. And I'm right in front. I'm not like in the back corner somewhere. Right in front, so everybody saw you got this. Didn't bother you. You just happy to be on stage with your cheese grin self. So if we say there's a war going on, there are two: the war against black people and the war against the black man. Yeah, I'd agree to that. This thing looks cool. The Instagram, it's got a green screen. Hmm. Dr. Fairgray, Derek Jackson. I'm not sure about Dr. Fairgray. I'm not sure who that is. The war against black men for profit just as hard as the racists do for racism. Oh, definitely. Um, let's go back. I've been saying that for 10 years, 10 plus years. Uh, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey made millions off of black man hate because people eat it up all day long. Yeah, I think she's got a mental issue. That's the thing with Candace. Something's not right in the head with Candace Owens. Um, it's one of those people that you like. You do know water's wet. No, it's completely dry. I don't know what you're saying, and you're a dummy to think water is wet. It is completely dry. That's Candace Owens. Very good question. He said, considering that, how do we sort this war out? How do we sort this war out? Um, it's entity over humanity. We need a plan. We need a game plan. Um, like Aishan was saying, we need to have it where we can create our own from the ground up. The war against the black man is a subconscious war. If you can break a man mentality and make him think less of himself and people that look like him, you won't have to worry about having a physical war with him because he will destroy himself. Bingo, 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 bingo. Um, that's it right there. I mean, because there's so many people that, like I said, I had conversations reflecting on. I've been in large groups of black men, and the lights are not on upstairs. They're just walking husks. I mean, either that or they have no backbone. So whenever the meeting is over with, they come to me afterwards saying, "Hey, man, I appreciate you saying something because I agree with you." But they have no desire to actually speak up for themselves. They have been destroyed or too scared to stand up and speak. But But you got those people like that dude in Albany who's a token to act like, oh, the only jobs we can get is service type jobs. Um, and I'm not dogging out service jobs because I know plumbers that make six figures. I know electricians that make six figures. I'm not so sure about carpentry, but I'm pretty sure there's some things in there that they make very good money at doing those trade skill type things, auto mechanics and things like that. But and I'm all for succeeding, but I don't ever want this image that that's all we're good for is service. You know, we can be investors, swing traders, day traders, you know, financial assistants, accountants, doctors, lawyers, you know, CEOs. We can do that. Quarterbacks, we can do that. As much as they try, you know, freaking 49ers, you know, could have had Kaepernick a long time ago, but they're gonna draft a young Kaepernick. You know, if anything, they could have had that Kaepernick grooming this one, but they probably wouldn't have been in the position because Kaepernick would have won them a couple Super Bowls, especially when they had I mean, not last year, but the year before, you know, and they had that defense. All they needed was Kaepernick. But Franklin, what's going on? Yes, that clown. Not a fan. Not a fan of that token stuff. Where he supposedly has opened up a school, you know, but at the same time celebrating and promoting gang life. Like he's a puppet, from what I can see so far. I don't know a lot about him, but from what I can see so far, he looked like a puppet, conservative puppet. But welcome, welcome. Um, like slightly annoyed mixed chick will say, there's a lot of well-intentioned races where as long as they say it in a nice voice or calm demeanor or what have you, you're not supposed to see that they're racist. Yes, yes, I'm sure. Um, Because my question, and it still has yet to be answered, where did he get the money, and who fronted him the money to create this school? Who fronted him the money to get all the certifications he would need to provide the training that he is claiming to provide? And why is that not even a thought? Because as black people, we're not supposed to think. Something don't smell right with this. I mean, if he don't look like Tim Scott, but just a younger version, you know, just something so they can throw in liberals' face and see this guy did it all by himself. Why can't y'all? Cause y'all didn't do it by yourself. Y'all did it on slave labor. Y'all didn't pick yourselves up from the bootstraps. You killed people, took their land, and made slaves work for your riches. Now you sit back and do nothing. Talking about somebody else, let's work for it. But again, pick select blacks to keep the rest of the blacks in line. And y'all know who y'all are. Because, I mean, most of them young mumble rappers have king this, king that. You know, that's where I correlate the gangster part in there is that something don't sound right there. He's like, what, 22, 23? Why y'all not worried about that? He came out of high school and magically he got this money to pay for multiple buildings to or house these students to learn a trade? Or are we so indoctrinated by whites domination that we're going, okay, yeah, man, this guy's doing great. Did we do good? Thank you, master. You know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there something else I'm missing about this dude? If somebody can tell me that this is on some legit stuff, other than N word stay in your place type stuff, you know what I mean? I don't think this is a Morehouse situation, Spellman situation. You know what I mean? And just the fact that he's a young black conservative, that don't bother none of y'all, other than the ones that are just as selloutish as him. So, nah, that's just my take on that. That's some sellout stuff right there. Like the Stacey Dashes and the Herschel Walkers, you know, the Candace Owens. I think she's just insane. But you did make a trip there to see with your own eyes. But did you ask those questions? Are those things that even popped in your head? Where did he get the money to do this? How is he financing this? How is this possible? And what did you see with your own eyes? When you made that trip there, what did you see with your own eyes? Because understand, all those things he's talking about, you do have to be licensed. Where did he get certification and accreditation for those things? Those things aren't cheap. And that's like level 4 or 5 of the steps he's going to have to take. I'm talking about just getting permits for the buildings. Where did he get the money for that? And supposedly there was a somebody that just died recently. His name was King Von. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like in Chicago, a lot of their rappers would use King in front of their name and talk about gang life and this, that, and other. So I'm not sure. Is that the name of the guy or is it different? It might be something else. this dude like he just died last year. I thought that was his name. 21-year-old. King Randall, not King Vaughn. King Randall is this guy. But yeah, he called. He said King Vaughn, but it was King Randall. But but let me tell. But tell me what you saw. Definitely, I like to travel. My daughter's down there right now, anyway. So who knows? I might do that soon. If I didn't have you know, my schedule pack, I'll probably do it tomorrow. Why aren't you asking these questions? You know what I mean? And I think that's half of it. No one's asking questions. You know what I mean? He said I have white and people other races who I know and don't ask me why can't I or blacks in general can't be more like Candace Owens. That is a problem that goes beyond Candace Owens. How do you respond to that? You ask questions? Come on now. That sounds suspect. Because if you ask the questions, those answers should already been in the chat right now. But you trying to work up a good lie right now and talk about some, hey, yeah. Because I'm looking at it. The man is 21 years old, and says he will transform the former Isabella School into the New Life Preparatory School for Boys. Saying that he's been wanting to open the school since he began Extra Boys program 2 years ago when he was only 19. And he says, so giving them a space where they're around a lot of other young men and around other men trying to mold you and train you, I have kids come find me at my house and come knock and ask to join the Extra Boys. I had kids message gang members, you name it. Again, whose house at 19? I don't care if it's in, rural Albany. Where he get the loot to get a house at 19? You can't answer it here. Where'd he get the money? If you ask the question, where'd he get the money? Because I'm all for anybody having a better, than slinging dope or claiming this gang or that gang and claiming blocks or whatever, and doing something better for themselves. But I'm not for the sellout. I'm not for the sellout. Not even a little bit. Or tokens, you know. But there's no background on this dude. And he said, hold on. Randall said he worked with the Daugherty County school system to find a perfect location. He said, I gave the superintendent a call and asked him if he had any school buildings that didn't mind getting rid of. And he was like, we have 3 buildings on the chopping block ready to be demolished. I was like, oh, really? So I got a tour of them. Of course, they need a little TSA, but they just stopped using it 2 years ago. Has received support receiving a 10,000 masks from the Ford Motor Company for his future students. Again, even abandoned buildings, they're not just going to give it to you for free. But I'm gonna find out. Like I tell you before, I will pull up. You know what I mean? Walter, that's because they fear the awakening of the U.S. If we fall in line, it takes away the threat of questioning what's true. The biggest threat to American society is a black man, woman asking questions that go against the grain. Absolutely, all day, everything. That's why they love Candace Owens and those of that crowd. Yep. Um, True. He said a lot of his money came from donations. However, celebrities are really helping him. Like, has anybody remembered what it is like to be in school? You know what I mean? But it's like some people, and I guess that's where I have to draw the line on certain things. Where it's like some people don't want to get it. They think this is okay or this is sufficient. Um, and we should not have a high standard when it comes to anything. Um, and this bullcrap. And see, these are the clues. It said, this is what I'm reading on the thing. During doing different workshops, teaching young men how to do different skill trades, we also are doing a book club teaching them how to read because 93% of the children he comes into contact with can't read. That's the stereotypical narrative whites love to put on us. Now, I'm not gonna say there's not a good portion, but 93%. Come on, son. That's a setup. That's a setup. And too many Negroes are supporting that because they may give them a cookie. I'm gonna check them out. But just like when the cats would be trying to, back in the day, used to try to get me to watch Tyler Perry movies and Tyler Perry plays and skits and the TV shows or what have you. Like when, and I don't know who made up. I don't think Tyler Perry did this one, but when Empire first came out, I said that was some clown stuff, and they're like, no, you gotta watch it first. You just prejudging it before you even seen it. You know, you have no idea it's gonna be great. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. Be careful what you ask for, because when I watched that first episode and broke it down to exactly what I thought it was going to be, then they're like, oh, you just a hater, you should love the coonery and buffoonery of Empire, and the man-hating of Empire. But yeah, people say, yeah, no, you have no idea. And if I'm wrong, I'll stand corrected, but I doubt it. And I'm just going to have to show you. And it's going to expose people who are too scary and too fearful to stand up for themselves, but they'll criticize me. They can't stand up for themselves and allow people to abuse them and tell them they're inferior. But when I tell them you are wonderfully and fearfully made, they mad at me. How dare you upset these good white folks? You're not missing anything. But I can show you better than I can tell you. People know, you know. And when they find out, will they adjust their shot group, or will they still stick their heads in the sand and say, let these white folks keep kicking us in the behind instead of doing something? Getting fooled by simple tricks. actually too many times a single mom doesn't have time or effort to check on her kids' education. Even I get too many kids from these households who are sorely neglected. Even as a football coach, those are the main ones struggling to make grades to play. Um, but I've been in the school system. You know, my daughter is in the ninth grade now. You know, I've been in the school system since she was in kindergarten, and I've seen them. It wasn't no 93%. I mean, there were some kids that struggled. Kids where you could tell both parents weren't doing nothing at the house, and you had to cover for them. You know, check on them because some of them, the only meal they were getting was at school. So, don't know what kind of household was doing that, but it wasn't the majority of them. And this is in East Point, you know. But they love to use that because they have blacks that believe the majority of blacks are violent. Because there's more blacks in jail, they really believe that blacks naturally are more violent than whites. And so they'll get people like this King Randall. They go, see, he's one of the good ones. But the majority of y'all can't read. The majority of y'all are criminals since the time you were 4 years old, or criminals since birth. And some of y'all are okay with that. Some of y'all actually support that and promote that as well. And think all blacks are this with your black self. So that is the war on black people, where we have the psychological warfare where we're killing ourselves. And pretend it's our idea. They plant the idea in your head and you run with it like it's your idea. He said child support enthusiasts are a part of this topic. Um, it has been used as a weapon, but I think the majority, the major part of the child support dysfunction is the antiquated rules that support the mentality that women weren't supposed to be making any money anyway. So that was in place to take care of women who were discarded by men who wanted somebody else. And so because she could not produce or didn't have any income, they were like they would order the man to pay for that. Now, it shouldn't go to the other extreme, but there should be some drastic changes on how we perceive child support. Because all I hear and all I see is child support used as wife support. Wife not doing nothing. You know, like I said, there's still women around here that think they should be treated like a child when it comes to accountability, but an adult when it comes to her opinion. Those two don't match. Either you're an adult or you're a child, or you're a child. Period. Either you're an adult or you're a child. Not both. Not when it's convenient you're one and when it's convenient you're the other. Oh wow, I didn't know I could share it on Twitter. That thing came right up. Just learned something new. Gotta work on that. So I don't know. I might have scared him off. But if Franklin is still in the building, what's the address to this place? Doherty County School System. So now, according to baby boy mentality, those folks say men in general are a man child. Mm, they don't have them paying child bills though. New Life Preparatory School for Boys. What is the address for this place? There's no address. Wait a minute. Uh oh. Hold on. They got a Facebook page. Where did the address go? Uh-uh. I'm trying to find this. I saw it on the thing before. New prep email. Okay, wait, hold on. Located at 33 across from Lascaux. That's not even the full address. I wonder if this is Albany. And that's why. It's a plain text. Albany, Georgia. Let's see. It's somebody's house. It's not a school. Oh no, that's New York. Okay. We're gonna see. Cause Albany is like 6 hours away from me. It's not around the corner. Oh man, we're gonna figure this out though. Cause people talk a good game until you call them out and they get exposed. Then they get their feelings hurt. Why you had to do me like that? But you know, keep that same energy. Try to go to their website. It cannot be reached. But this is what you talking about. Some go down there. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate everybody that came in here tonight. You know, I want y'all to have an awesome weekend. I'm gonna do some more research. I've been challenged. You saw the challenge. Franklin challenged me, and I'm gonna step up to the challenge. Just like these other people that say, oh, you know, we should do all this stuff and stop depending on people that the Democrats are not gonna save nobody. Got you. I'm coming through. You know, hook or crook, we're gonna find out, and we're gonna get, and clowns are gonna get exposed. So don't come half stepping. So thank you, Walter, Aishan, Franklin, Walter. hanging with me. And y'all have an awesome weekend. Enjoy family. Might do a live this weekend. You know, who knows? I might be in Albany this weekend. Who knows? You never know. And I'm going to do some more research on that. You're a nut, Walter. But remember, you don't have to think like me, but you do have to think. You're never too big to learn. You're never too small to teach. We're going to continue doing this thing. Get this phone out the way. Love y'all. There's nothing y'all can do about it. I will see you on Monday with another hot topic. Chico out.